Good evening. My name is Fluffy, and we're talking about the manager mod, the colony manager, and we're going into a little bit more detail about the production tab now. So, in the production tab allows you to set production change, pretty much. So, anything that's on a production table, so any of the butchers, the brewers, the cooks, components, everything that is on one of these buildings. It'll show up on the list once you've got it built, so once it's available for you to do, and you can fine tune it here. So what I normally have in my colonies is I start off with the meals. I'll just fine tune it to meal. Also I'll want a fine meal. I want 50 of them to be available at all time. I want all of my workstations to handle that. And I usually turn the take to best stockpile off because I just want them cooking and not bothering with taking it to stockpiles. It's always useless colonists who can do that part. On the right side you get the normal the options. Many of those are also the normal options that you would get if you would do it on the normal workstation. So what ingredients they're allowed to use, that kind of jazz. And then you can just press manage, and then it gets added to the list there. And it also gets added to the list over here. So now, once a manager, AI manager does it, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on. Sorry for that. It gets added to the electric stoves and the power the fuel stove as well. So now it just shows up in the list here. So this is all the stuff that gets added by the debug mode that I've got enabled. Just to set up this colony, and this is the stuff that was added by the manager. So there's the fine meal things, been added 13 times here, 12 times here, another couple of times there and there, just to add up to 50. So once that is done, it either gets removed if it's not necessary anymore, or it gets replenished, like the count on it gets renewed. It doesn't continuously renew that because that would just be a lot of extra behind the scenes data crunching, which is kind of annoying. And it also doesn't set the keep your stock level up to that number, because that, yeah, frankly I just felt that was a little bit too easy, because then you don't really need the manager anymore, and it just felt like it's a little bit cheating. But I may come back to that at some point if there's enough call for that. So I want to show you one more thing that I often do for my clothing, which is a little bit more advanced usage. So let's say we want to keep, we want to make sure that we always have 5 armor vests available, good armor vests. So in the available lists, you can select make armor vests, and then we can click the threshold here. It's got this little icon on it to show that there's more you can set up here. And here we can use a thing filter. So the same stuff that you can use on your stockpiles and stuff, you can use for what gets counted in this threshold. So it keeps doing it until it's got 5 of them, but we want those 5 to be at least 50% hit points and at least of good quality. And then here it's got the armor vest selected, which is perfect. We can also say in which particular stockpile they need to be. So you can say like, oh, I want this stockpile to be full up or whatever. That will also just work fine. But by default, it's in any stockpile. So, and that also includes anywhere else, to be honest, just not on ponds. And it depends a little bit on what it is. The rule is that if it appears on the left here, it only gets counted when it is in a stockpile, because this is stuff that occurs a lot. And if I need to check the entire map to see how much of that stuff there is, it just takes quite a while, so you get stuttering, because there's a fraction of a second that it needs to calculate that, and if it does that for 10 different jobs or something, it just stutters, which is not very nice. So it uses that list that you see in the top left there. For the stuff that isn't on that list, it will scan the map, but there's a lot less of that, so it should be quite a bit faster. Anyway, that's basically the advanced usage of it. I think, oh yeah, there's one more thing that is kind of nifty. You can also click create jobs for ingredients. So if I now click manage, then I can say, okay, I need steel for this. Well, there's not much, there's no real recipes for steel. I can smelt slag. If I just select that, and I need to make components for that as well. So I want to have some components available, and then components need steel, so I can do the steel, and just keep going like that. The numbers here are currently a little bit weird. It's because this is a really weird recursive setup, and it gets a little bit tricky to figure it out well. But you can set them manually anyway, so yeah. Anyway, if I now click create jobs, then not only has it added the armor vest that I wanted, but also the metal slag jobs twice, which shouldn't happen really, but okay. And the component job. So in vanilla that isn't all that useful, but you gotta remember this also works in mod packs, and mod packs have a tendency to add in a huge production change, make it quite difficult. And this actually makes it a lot easier to figure that out. So yeah, I hope you have fun with it. I hope it's useful. And in the next part we'll look at the next tab, which is the hunting tab, which should be a little bit short. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.